and you're not there. Tell me where the sun hides when you're saying goodbye. Can't breathe your air. Promise me you'll stay a lifetime coloring my days. My bright side particles and waves. Where does the light go when you're gone? Yeah. Ooh, where does the light go? Where does the light go? Where does the light go? Where does the light Tell me, are you somehow reflecting a little piece of heaven into my sky? 'Cause I see a glimmer of perfection in every direction when you're by my side. Oh, I don't wanna know a world without your everglow. You make me see all the cold. Where does the light go when you're gone? Yeah. Ooh, where does the light go? 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 Where does the light go?
Whew. Well, running a little behind here.
I blame Van. I blame Van.
Always blame Van. Van's the only reason why we would ever be late to a show, right?
Say Wong and I were on time. Even Metzo was here on time.
Metzo's in the chat. Hold on. What?
Yeah, but we're all here.
Oh my
We're
god! Everybody's
I'm blaming
here.
Van. I'm blaming
The
Van.
whole crew is here, which means let's have some fun. Let's do this.
Get it.
Distance nerding.
Hey, what up, everybody?
What is going on? Welcome to Tuesday.
It's a new day. It's a new show. It is time for all the fun things. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Taco Tuesday. And you know what that means. You are now watching and listening and experiencing Distance Nerding.
Part of the Comic-Con radio podcast family. Oh, sorry. No, it's your line. It's your line.
Oh, is it my line?
Yeah.
This is where I'm supposed to come in?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. He does his own stunts. It's Jamez 5000.
That's not the line. But and the winner is For Best Supporting Actress, it's Young Phil. And we're here
To nerd
to
together.
nerd together. We're hitting your outro music right away. Like no
Yeah.
speech for you. We're talking about anything pop culture, news, movies, food, wrestling, Netflix, WWE on Netflix, comics, whatever you're nerding out on. We want to talk about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you gotta follow us on the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Twitch, the Threads, the YouTube, the Discord, all the places, all at Distance Nerding. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to send us some love or some hate or some whatever the hell it is that you want to send us, as long as it is that you want to send us an email at dist.
Crypto? How about crypto? Is that how crypto works? Do you send it? Do you send crypto via email to our AOL account? Is that?
I think they can. Is that how crypto works, right?
That's like opposite ends of the internet, AOL and crypto.
I know, right? It's like, here's something new, here's something old. It's nerding at AOL.com. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you send us an email, we will read it on air.
We will? Maybe you will. I don't know if I will. If they're making fun of me, I'm not going to read it. Like when Graveyard sends emails, I'm not reading that shit because he's always making fun of me. Whether he's trying to be nice or not, he's low-key making fun of me, and I know it, Graveyard.
I mean, that's basically what it is. It's the whole show is make fun of John Mez 5000, right?
I'm on to him.
He's watching you. He's watching you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have now stumbled on to the best kept secret on the internet. You are now watching your favorite show, my favorite show, everyone's favorite show. You are now watching The Download. With all the fun things.
You almost got a little Shatner on that last one. You're like, you are now watching
The Download.
The Download.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week on deck, we've got the Geek End Update.
I didn't write anything down for the Geek End Update, but we are on Comic-Con Radio. It's good. Whoa, two of them.
And then now you went into Trump. All right. Lights, camera, reaction.
We got two trailers. It's Avatar Wars: The Last Batch Bender. Wait, I think my brain just broke.
That brain fart?
Sorry.
Okay. Starting rumors.
Will Rey and Grogu share a bucket of popcorn? Maybe.
It may be great. The Download.
And the winner is The Rock.
You're not wrong. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we bring it all home with the breakdown.
I don't know the sign language for the breakdown, but we're doing the breakdown.
But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into all of that, of course, got to thank all the people out there because. But first, let me get a shout out.
Shout out to Poddex. In fact, this episode is powered by Poddex. Poddex are unique interview questions and episode starting prompts in the palm of your hand. If you're a new podcaster or an existing broadcaster or Graveyard trying to undermine John Mez 5000, looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, level up with Poddex and check out poddex.com. Use code nerding10 for 10% off. It'll be great for your shoe. Look at him, podcast. Look, we talked about Grave, and boom, he's in the chat.
There you go, right?
Trying to ruin me.
Hanging out in the chat, just talking all of the smack.
Where's the Destiny gameplay? How come he's not on the show right now?
Actually, neither of us have played Destiny in a while, man.
What is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, I've been playing other games. Destiny just got kind of stale, man.
Wow.
And that's coming from somebody who loves the game, you know, like it's been getting kind of stale. It hasn't been as good. You know, I'm kind of holding out for the next DLC at this point.
All right. Okay.
But of course,
Go ahead.
Okay, I was to say, but of course,
no, I'm not talking. Go ahead.
If you're wondering,
no, if you want to start, just keep going.
Yeah, I will.
All right.
What were you saying?
I was not saying anything. I'm waiting for you to talk.
Okay. Shout out to Debbie. Debbie's an emerging brand. I guess Debbie is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. Debbie contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. And it might just be keto friendly for those of you who are out there on that keto hype. Debbie contains Neurofactor. It's a neurotropic derived from the coffee fruit. Neurofactor helps give your brain focus and clarity, while the 150 milligrams of caffeine and 3 essential B vitamins help you stay alert and energized. Find out more about Debbie at www.debbie.gg. Use that code NERDING10. Get 10% off your order. Completely worth it. Completely delicious. It is an awesome thing.
You know, the copy doesn't even say emerging. I don't know who says emerging, but everybody says emerging. It's not emerging.
The copy does say emerging. We erased emerging.
I don't know what's happening.
Because it's not emerging anymore.
It's not emerging. It's emerged. It's been birthed.
It has been submerged. I don't know. My words are wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. It is now time for the Geek End Update.
Before we get into the Geek End Update, hey, I saw Sam Wong talking about it in the chat. Same with STS Wrestling, but WWE Netflix talk. I'm just saying we're gonna talk about it later. So STS Wrestling, Garland, if you better get your camera on. You want to jump on later in like half an hour with us? Jump on. We'll talk wrestling with you.
We've got a little bit of wrestling talk tonight. We have a couple of different wrestling things we're gonna be bringing.
Exactly. Come on, Gar. STS Wrestling. Let's go. Anyway, let me get into it. Distance Nerding is on Comic-Con Radio. Listen to Distance Nerding and our second show, A Comic Conversation, via comiccon-radio.com. Look for Distance Nerding, even this episode, and a new Comic Conversation each week on comiccon-radio.com/podcast, because we're podcasts. And I'll pop it into the chat. And there's a bunch of other shows on Comic-Con Radio. We've met a ton of cool shows, a ton of cool hosts, ton of cool friends on or from Comic-Con Radio. So shout out to, Mostly Pod Out at Night. Shout out to Geek Saga. Shout out to Comics Podcast. You guys are all awesome. So love collaborating with everybody. It's super cool to see everybody working together.
And we have a fellow Comic-Con Radio podcast host that is on the show with me on Thursdays.
Oh, look at that. What's his name?
His name is something with like Tombstone, or was it
Pile Driver?
Pile Driver? No, was it it might have been Zombie Man?
Zombie Man, there it is.
Yeah, just zombie guy.
Shout out to
Graveyard.
Shout out to Salem from the Mostly Pod Out at Night.
From the Mostly Pod Out at Night.
They mostly pod at night. Mostly.
Good old Salem. No, that's our
morgue. The morgue should have his own IMDb page. Just to throw it out there, if you're ever wondering who the morgue is, that is my alter ego that we created for a scene that we did in a movie.
Oh, okay. Look at the behind the scenes stuff.
Because,
okay, I like it.
Because Graveyard is Graveyard, and I was like, I need to have a name themed for a show that would be what we would be doing. He goes, The Morgue, and I'm like, that's fucking great. Let's do that.
Done. I'm into it. I like it.
So,
all right, what do we got next?
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to move on. It's time for some lights, camera, reaction.
Quiet on the
set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
Quiet on the set.
It is quiet, except for the music, but it is quiet.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. Let's get an intro here, man. What is the first trailer we're going to be watching here?
Well, I hope you got it queued up, but we're going back to the Bad Batch. So in Star Wars Bad Batch Season 3, the Batch will have their limits tested in the fight to reunite with Omega as she faces challenges of her own inside a remote Imperial science lab. With the group fractured and facing threats from all directions, they will have to seek out unexpected allies, embark on dangerous missions, and muster everything they have learned to free themselves from the Empire. Super excited for this one.
Oh man, the last 2 seasons have been amazing, so I'm just excited for what's to come with this.
Yeah, I'm excited. By the way, it's funny because I was reading the article and they listed, they're like, Bad Batch stars D. Bradley Baker, and that's pretty much it. Because he does all the voices. They were like, oh yeah, and Michelle Ang as Omega.
Yeah, but I mean, D. Bradley Baker, D. Bradley Baker, D. Bradley Baker, D.
Yeah.
Bradley Baker, and special guest D. Bradley Baker.
This is going to be interesting because this is the final season of Bad Batch, so I'm interested to see where they go with this. I mean, this is one of Filoni's babies, so maybe he plants some seeds for something later on in, the New Republic Mandalorian era. So,
Oh, dude, how dope would it be in like the New Republic stuff? How dope would it be to see live action Bad Batch guys?
Exactly. That's exactly what. And they got Tamora. He'll do anything that you want him to do.
That would kind of be cool to see Tamora come back and be Hunter.
Yes,
because you couldn't really have Tamora come and be Wrecker just because Wrecker is like taller and way bigger in stature.
right. Maybe they get somebody else to play Wrecker. You know what I mean? Like The Rock. Yeah, I said it.
The Rock is like the Wrecker. I mean, if anybody, he would have to be Hunter, just because that's he's the closest one that like looks like a regular clone, whereas like everybody else is very distinctly, different. Obviously, we can't do Tech, rest in peace. But I mean, like,
whoa, spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, if you haven't watched it yet,
yeah. Well, you got a chance. You got a couple weeks. Anyway, let's get going. Let's watch this trailer. I'm excited for it.
Let's check this out.
Oh, I love me some gunships. That's my favorite.
So those are Imperial drop ships right there, or those are clone drop ships. But I mean, at this point, they're Imperial drop ships.
Exactly.
Right. Oh my God! Just the way. What?
Wanda.
Was that? Oh, that's right.
It's Wanda Sykes.
I forgot. The ship looks like the Ghost, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it must be some Corellian type ship.
Yeah, I immediately thought that was the Ghost popping in until I realized that's right. She's flying the same ship.
Look at all those gunships. Yes.
Yeah.
Omega.
Oh man, look at Crosshairs. Looks so depressed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he deserves to look that depressed. He went from being like a special forces ops to just being a dude.
It's not over yet.
That's
not over yet. February.
Yeah, that's what he gets. Like, oh my God, look at those Imperial guards, dude.
I know. There's a few troopers in this trailer. Look at that trooper. Like, who are these new troopers?
Well, I mean, it's going to be the transition between clones and Imperial stormtroopers.
Yeah. Look at that.
Because remember, once they
Cad.
Cad
Cad makes
I was gonna say, remember, once they started recruiting, they were just garbage.
Yeah.
And I think this, they're probably going to we're probably going to get. Oh, we did get a little bit of that last season where, they went up against a couple of Imperial troopers and realized, well, you aren't clones, and they're like, well, no.
Yeah. Oh, you hear that voice? Look at it. Look at her. Look at it. How cool is that? I know. Don't you want to go back and pause it? You're like, it looks like she's wearing like.
No, we can do that. Hold on. I'm going. Like she has hair.
And look at her pauldron thing.
Oh my God. Hold on. Are they going into Asajj Ventress before she becomes a Sith?
I don't know, man. I haven't watched the show yet. It hasn't come out. February 21st, it comes out.
It looks like her as a Jedi. Look at that.
I know. Doesn't it kind of give you some Anakin Clone Wars vibes?
Okay, I don't know if you noticed this, right? I'm not gonna play it again. I don't know if you noticed this, but when she's flipping her saber around like that, there are flashes of her as Asajj Ventress with the tattoos on her face.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to go back and check that out.
Like the foreshadowing of it, right? Like, oh my god, okay, that alone just got me 100% more into that trailer. Like, I was already into it. I love the pacing and the way that they played Bad Batch, just because those characters are so interesting. I love the Bad Batch as characters. You know, this idea of a special forces group that is not necessarily, you know, clones or Imperials or anything like that. Like, they really did their own thing, and them defecting in that whole story. But then moving into, like, now they're bringing Asajj Ventress in, who's a character that I've always wanted more stories about.
Yeah, she's super cool. Always loved Asajj.
Yeah, and remember, Asajj Ventress was created by Gendy Tartakovsky.
Oh yeah,
She was created by Gendy Tartakovsky in the original Clone Wars cartoon.
Yeah,
and then
the short version. Yeah,
right, and then they brought her over because she is Dooku's apprentice, right? And just seeing that, like, it's they haven't gone into her being a Padawan at any point. Like, we knew she was a Night Sister at one point, because we know that she's a female Zabrak, right? And it's like, to see her as a Padawan, knowing that she defected because she wasn't someone that Dooku just trained, right? Which is like a possibility, you know. Oh, she's Force adept, I'm going to train her to be a Sith. No, she was actually a Padawan, which means he stole her from the academy.
Yeah. I like her little hairdo. It's so cool.
Seeing her with hair, because I'm used to her being bald.
I've always loved her, and just like her look right now, it's like so punk rock. Like,
Yeah,
I dig that look. She's kind of always been punk rock, you know.
Yeah.
So,
what's your rating on this,
dude? It's 10 out of 10. It's 10 Asajj Ventress out of 10 Wreckers. And so excited for this one. And they put my favorite ship in it. Can I go 11 out of 10? Is that possible?
You need to turn it up all the way to 11.
Yes, 11.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna add a gunship just because I want a gunship. My birthday's in July. If anybody's interested, Legos.
Exactly. I'm also giving this 10 D. Bradley Bakers, which is actually accurate, out of 10 punk rock Asajj Ventress, like, basically wrecking a bunch of clones.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's so dope, man. I'm very, very excited for this. When I saw the trailers we were gonna preview tonight, I was excited I'm excited for both of them, but this just made me that much more excited for this.
I know. And I think Disney may have taken a hint from Netflix, and because really the release date is less than a month away.
Yeah.
And so I think they went the Netflix route and be like, hey, let's give it to them, get everybody excited, get people talking about it, and then give it to them a short time after. So
right.
I'm down with that.
Create the buzz the way that they should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm excited for this, man. So what's the next trailer we're watching here?
Oh, let me see. It's the Avatar one. Are you excited for this one?
So excited. I've been waiting for a trailer for Avatar: The Last Airbender for a while. Because again, where I am, I don't want to say that I am skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
But where I'm, like, you know, where there is any skepticism, it's more around the fact that the showrunners left, and it was over creative differences, and I wonder what creative differences they were.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. I was gonna, as you're saying that, I'm like, did you watch the One Piece live action show?
Oh yeah.
I like that one a lot.
It's
so
good.
I have faith in Netflix in what they're gonna do with Avatar, and I don't think they're gonna ruin it. I don't think they're gonna try to like make it their own and spin it in weird ways. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, man. So I mean, again, I'm hoping that it's faithful to the cartoon.
Mhm.
It'd be nice if it's like somewhat different, but I kind of want a faithful adaptation.
Mhm.
There's a reason that we love Avatar. We don't need
Right.
it to be severely different. It's more, I want to see how well this looks in live action.
I think this is gonna come across really well. and I think the live action will help the action scenes, compared to the animated version.
Right. It's the martial arts that I want to
Yeah.
see. I want to see
Yeah, exactly.
what these martial arts look like in real life, which I heard that they did study the art forms that every character was supposed to be based on, so then that way everything was accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the idea of that, So let's get into this. And I know, James, you recently watched the entire Avatar run, right? Like Avatar
Yeah.
and Legend of Korra.
Yeah. I
So
did.
you're familiar with the lore and everything.
Oh, totally. I do have a last Opsis Avatar synopsis.
Last Opsis Avatar synopsis. Synopsis. I mean, you've seen the show. You could have made a better one than that.
Come on, man. I'm doing it. Set in an Asiatic war-torn world where certain people can bend one of the 4 classic elements: water, earth, fire, or air. The show official synopsis reads, Aang is the Avatar, the only one capable of bending all the elements, and is destined to bring peace to the world from the Fire Nation. With his new companions Katara and Sokka, Aang sets out to master the elements while being pursued by the exiled Fire Nation Prince Zuko, who seeks to regain his honor by capturing the Avatar. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, the one thing I will say though is like I hope they don't go like shot for shot, because watching, Avatar, there is some filler episodes.
Yeah.
And I think they can definitely kind of tighten that all up. So I'm hoping they do that with the show.
I want an Avatar Kai, kind of how Dragon Ball Z has Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Cuts out all the filler in the show, and it's funny because they take like, a 50-something episode season, and they were able to condense it into 10 episodes.
So crazy.
But I mean, like, it's almost the same thing as that, because I mean, like you take that whole show, condense everything down, just get to like the meat of everything in that show, and you can make something that's tight and interesting to watch.
I like it. Let's check it out.
So let's check out this trailer here.
Give it a rating.
Oh, I'm giving this a 10. 100%. This is getting 10 Masters of the Elements out of 10 flying spider monkeys flying atop a flying bison.
Yeah. I like it. I'm excited for this one. I think, when was the date again? February 22nd. Oh my god. Bad Batch and then Last Airbender.
Binging Last Airbender.
Boom. I'm digging this. I give this 10 airballs, 10 runaway airballs out of 10 cabbages, because I'm excited for this one.
Oh my god, he better be in this. My cabbages!
You know what's funny? They got the same. Speaking of cameo, they got the same guy that does the cabbages bit in the animated series to do this show. So he's in this show.
Oh,
the
so
cabbage guy.
He's playing the cabbage guy. Oh my god!
So he's like the only one announced is the cabbage guy.
My cabbages.
So funny.
It looks great, man. I mean, everything in this, the elements look amazing. They look like, I mean, they showed a couple of earthbenders and some of the things on there. Again, I said last season, or when they first announced everything in season 2, I mean, I'm excited to see Toph in general. But because Toph is like one of my favorite characters, which makes it even bigger that we know Michaela like that. But I mean, like, Toph is one of my favorite characters. I can't wait to see King Boomy. I want to see how they pull that off.
Yeah, that will be fun.
Because King Boomy, you have to get like a dude who looks old and decrepit and broken, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when he takes the robe off, he's just ripped. Yes,
they need like Sylvester Stallone to do that.
But, somebody like
that.
Somebody like that, but like somebody who, like I said, like they look frail under a robe. But then he takes the robe off, and he's just ripped.
So cool. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this whole thing, man. I can't wait for this.
Like I said, coming out after watching One Piece, I'm super excited for Netflix's live action anime stuff. It's so weird. Like we poo-poo so much of Disney doing it, but then Netflix is like, okay, let's take some anime and try to do it. And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's bring it.
Yeah. Graveyard in the chat saying they clearly are missing an element. I need me some heartbenders. So that way we can get a Captain Planet bender. But then I was saying,
benders.
that's what I was saying is that's actually a thing in Avatar. Blood benders. They're bad guys, but they're water benders that learned how to manipulate blood, and they can stop your heart.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's actually that's Graveyard. Do they combine to make a Captain Planet bender? I love it. So that is it for trailers.
Look at that. Boom. Done.
Pretty short in the trailer department today.
There was a couple other ones, but I left them out. There was like some, I forgot which ones I had on here, but there's a couple. I put them in the Distance Nerdington post.
Gotcha.
So if you want to go check them out, go check them out.
Yeah. Check out the Nerdington post as you should be already.
If you're on the Facebook, who's on? Are we Facebooking still? We're Facebooking still, right?
I mean, we have the group. We're just not live on Facebook anymore.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. It is time to start some rumors.
I don't know it again. I could swear it slows down at the end, but that's just me.
Are you confusing slowing down with the volume going down?
I don't know. It just seems like it's slowing down. But you know what? I figured it out. I think it's the volume going down and I'm missing beats. So it feels like it's slowing down.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you, sound engineer? That went to school for that I'm explaining it to you with my hands. I'm explaining sound.
Mansplaining music to me.
Mansplaining music with my hands to you. Okay. The Force is strong with her. Some new information has surfaced for Lucasfilm's planned Star Wars New Jedi Order. Is that the official name? I don't know if that is. Which we'll see.
Concept?
I think it's just the idea. Okay, yeah, sure. See Daisy Ridley return to the role of Rey Skywalker. The project is currently in process of being written by Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight. Now it's being learned that Rey's return may not be for just one film. Interesting. Along with that, Rey could also factor into Sean Levy's mysterious Star Wars movie, which he will most likely begin working on when he's done with Deadpool 3.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Rey's movie will be the second big screen release after Mandalorian and Grogu that will likely hit theaters Christmas 2026. James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi will follow in 2027. And Dave Filoni's New Republic movie could be as far away as 2028. So much content. So all that being said, they're saying that Rey could be either part of those or kind of spin off into her own trilogy. So talk is on the table. Will we be getting triple the amount of Rey?
Not Ray DeLeon, the SoCal Simba.
Not the SoCal symbol.
Yeah. I think it's a thing. I think what they're gonna try and do is slowly kind of drip feed Rey back into everybody's consciousness, kind of thing. I think that there's a lot of people who are still upset about Rey, and I see a lot of the arguments online. And you know, Filoni's going to do exactly what he did with the prequels and make content that makes everybody fall in love with the sequels, and people are going to stop hating the sequels. So, you know, Filoni's really good about building bridges on the inside of that stuff, because now it's hard pressed to find somebody who actually hates the prequels now.
Yeah, the prequels. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
My tacos, I think, are gonna be off the table.
Okay.
I don't know if they can have three movies worth of Rey when everybody's like, give me more Mando and Grogu. You know what I mean? Like, give me more Mando and Grogu. That's great. Give me one about Rey, and then give me some other stuff.
Well, I don't think. I think only one of these movies is going to be about Rey. I think she's just going to make appearances. I think she's going to do a Luke Skywalker in Book of Boba,
Gotcha. All
where
right,
it's
all
like
right.
a small appearance and not something that is just like a major. Rey is in every movie, and she's being, she's here. I think it's going to be like small appearances where, hey, we need to consult the Jedi Temple or the Jedi Academy or the New Order, and you get like a cameo of Rey in one of these movies. So I don't think it's going to be like a movie about, like, every movie is going to be about Rey. I think the only one is the New Jedi Order is going to be, or whichever one that whatever they name it is going to be about Rey. I think the rest of it is going to be more just her making appearances.
Okay,
With Filoni, that makes sense because that's what he does.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Okay, I'll give that one to you. All right, my second rumor, I only got two. Is your Peter tingling, or are you just happy to see me?
We're not using that. That's not a thing.
Oh, we'll edit it. We'll edit it.
No, that's what he says in Spider-Man 3.
There have
We're not
been,
calling it a Peter Tingle. That's not a thing.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing. There has been talks for a while that a Spider-Man villain is going to appear in the What If series, which would make sense. That's a good point. Oh no, Spider-Man has been in. Yeah, Spider-Man has been in What If.
Yeah.
But no villains. Okay. The rumor is the villain will be Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio. Is he coming back? Who was played by Jake Gyllenhaal in Spider-Man Far From Home. What do you guys think? By you guys, I mean you.
What do I think? My tacos on the table. I am putting my tacos on the table for this again. And it is because I think there is a little bit of a clamor for Quentin Beck. I think more people want to see more of Quentin Beck. As of right now, we believe that he's dead. But remember, he is, at this point, a master of technology, and a master of kind of like illusion. So it could be very well that Peter didn't actually kill him.
Good point. Good point.
As much as he tries to make it seem like Peter didn't actually kill him, but I mean, like, he's not actually dead. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel like we are gonna get more Mysterio, whether it's What If or down the line if he comes back as another character. Like, say if we see him again in Secret Wars, right? And yes, Bruce Campbell should have been cast as Mysterio.
Graveyard in the chat. Should we have Bruce Campbell in Spider-Man 4 as Mysterio? I think Bruce Campbell is Mephisto. Like,
Oh my God, that would
obviously
perfect.
it's Mephisto.
He would be the best Mephisto.
That would be kind of fun.
Like
Coming
Bruce
from hell.
Like Bruce Campbell would play the devil perfectly.
Yeah. I think I called it. I'm calling it right there.
Now Bruce Campbell is Mephisto.
Yeah, my tacos are, I'm gonna say, not on the table for the Mysterio. I don't know. For some reason, I know Mysterio is big in the comics. I know it's a long time legendary villain for Spider-Man. I just don't think it hit as hard in the MCU. So I think it's gonna be like done and moving on.
Gotcha.
But I will take Bruce Campbell. Give me some Bruce Campbell. I will take that. That would be kind of fun.
Graveyard. What if Sam Raimi actually made Spider-Man 4?
What if?
Right.
What?
And Meto is saying she needs her some Bruce. So
Didn't Graveyard have a rumor or something back up here? I can't remember.
I think he said that there was breaking news.
Breaking news.
Which Graveyard, if you want to send us a link in our chat, maybe we can bring that up. So,
I'm looking it up. Oh, Wilson Bethel's Bullseye returning for Daredevil Born Again. Okay, that's what it is.
oh, gotcha. I mean, that's fine too, because I mean, like, again, I want to see more Bullseye, and especially like now that they're like blending all the universe together. I want to see Bullseye and Deadpool go at it because they have one of the funniest runs in comics. There's a panel where they're going at it, and Deadpool starts driving away, and
Wait,
he's like,
Deadpool's driving away? The blind guy is driving away?
Deadpool.
Oh,
Not
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Deadpool is driving away because he's in like this decrepit, broken down, like 80s truck.
Uh-huh.
And Bullseye pulls out an RPG, and he shoots it at Deadpool, and Deadpool like kind of sees it coming, so he like does a evasive maneuver, and the rocket go like, with the way that Deadpool drives, the rocket just goes through one window and out the other, and like goes and hits something else, and then Deadpool just looks at him, and Bullseye goes, "That was actually pretty good."
Nice.
Like, again, there's a lot of team ups that I want to see. I want to see Daredevil and Deadpool fight, because that's one of the funniest fights in comics. Because specifically, Daredevil finally reveals what's inside of Deadpool's Liefeld pockets,
Oh, yeah.
and they're like old chimichangas and burritos.
I wonder if there's a chance we could see some kind of like team up, not in What If, but like maybe What If runs its course, and then we get these like maybe they're Marvel spotlights, and it's just like team ups, and things you didn't really expect. So
yeah, and then of course I've talked about it past a couple times, but Deadpool and Hawkeye had a really great run in the comics. So I want to see all that,
Awesome.
all that now that we have Deadpool in the MCU.
I like it. I think that does it for the rumors.
The rumors. So let's get into the news, because guys, it is time for
What happened?
Jackie.
Your power just went out?
No, Jackie just turned off the lights. Guys, it is time for the download. Oh man.
Doing the download from the dark. That's what's happening.
Apparently the only light that I have in here is my ring light.
There you go. Grave says, "What if people actually saw the Marvels?" That is rude.
What if
I
people
saw-
actually saw
I
the
saw the-
Marvels? Less
I saw
people
the
would
Marvels. What?
said less people would hate on it.
Exactly.
Because the majority of people who are hating on the Marvels didn't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
They were just
All right.
so.
Check out the Distance Nerdington post for more news, all the trailers, all the reactions, and let us know what you're nerding out on this week. Check out the Distance Nerdington post on Facebook. Hooray! All right. In Who's Your Daddy news, Prime
Who's your daddy?
Who's Your Daddy?
Who's your
Prime Video has released a new promo. Oh, this is the one I skipped because it was like super short. Prime Video has released a new promo spot for Invincible Season 2 Part 2. So only 4 of the 8 episodes have been released, and those first 4 are out now. Prime Video announced that the series will return March 14th. So like 2-ish months away. See, that's a little long, but I get it.
Yeah, but I mean, I love this show. I was kind of upset that they stopped it at 4, because I was totally expecting the next week for that to continue on, because like they left it on the shittiest cliffhanger.
I totally agree. It's like the first 2 episodes just got the thing started, and then 2 more episodes where it's like, all right, we're in the new season now, and then all of a sudden it's cut off. I'm like, What is? And I didn't really know it was being broken up.
I
Like
didn't.
every week, I'd go back and look. I'm like, where's the new Invincible? What is happening here?
Yeah, no, like I said, it kind of upset me where they left it off, because it was like it was so interesting, kind of seeing that relationship between him and his dad, and it's like they left it on this cliffhanger, and it's like, oh god, I need to see more of this. Oh, okay, it's been like 2 months and they haven't put a new episode up, and then I looked it up online and they said, oh, they're breaking up the episodes. Like, do you guys not realize that people don't like that?
Yeah, exactly. Or if you're gonna do it, tell us ahead of time.
Yeah. It's like you're doing that. It was already bad enough that they were doing it on a weekly basis,
Yeah,
right? But then it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get people to tune in, and now we're gonna break up the show, and it's like, stop it. Do one or the other.
exactly. I totally agree. I was thrown off, and it kind of threw me off that that they ended it at that spot.
Yeah.
It just felt almost like it wasn't finished, if that makes sense.
No,
Like,
100%.
It's almost like they're all just cut it off here. They should have at least given us 5 episodes, maybe 6, and then do the break, and then bring it back for another 4 or 5 or 6 episodes. But right there, I think was too short for a half season or for the first part.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's upsetting, but it's fun to, or I'm happy to know that it's going to be coming back. Still, it's like 2 months away, and it's
Yeah.
like you're making me wait way too long for this.
Whenever I'd go to watch like the new Reacher, and then it'd finish, and I'd be like, okay, let me see if Invincible's. Oh, no Invincible. Great. Like at least I know the date now.
It did force me to watch Adam Eve, because I hadn't
Oh.
watched that yet, and I thought and it was like, oh, you like, because it has it listed as like season 1.5.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
I
so
watched that ahead of time though. So did you watch Gen V while you're on Prime Video?
I still haven't watched Gen V. I need to watch that, because I mean, I'm a massive fan of The Boys,
Mhm.
and everybody that I've heard anybody I've talked to has said that Gen V is just as good as The Boys. So I
Yeah,
need to
totally.
watch it.
There you go. While you're waiting for Invincible to come back, watch The Boys or Gen V. All right, let's keep it going.
In stories that don't die news, take the next one from you, buddy.
No, jeez.
In stories that don't die news, last week we covered that Danny Boyle and Alex Garland were officially developing another sequel to 28 Days Later, titled 28 Years Later. We've now learned that 3 major studios are battling for the rights to the project, which means that it is a big deal. Warner Brothers, Universal Pictures, and Paramount Pictures are all in the mix to snatch up the sequel. And right now, Warner Brothers is currently ahead of all of the others.
I like this because it feels like it's turning the industry on its head. It's like all these big name studios are fighting for these projects, so it gives more power to the actors, the directors, the producers that are making these films, and kind of the creatives in charge. So
Right.
I like this. So, who knows what's going to happen? It might not just be a money grab. So they may not go for like, hey, let's sell this to the studio that throws the biggest check at us. It could be like, we get to keep royalties or something like that,
Right.
So we may be getting guaranteed a part 2 or a series or something from one of these big studios that does have a streaming service connected to it. So I'm totally okay with this. Fight over it. I like it. Make it happen.
Absolutely. I'm all for this. I love the idea of all of this, just because it's such a good, like the movies themselves are really good. And getting the sequel and then creating competition within all of that. I'm all for this.
I want to go back and watch the first one again.
Just watch both of them. I mean, they're both amazing movies.
Just because we've been talking about it, and I just remember watching that first one, and they're like chasing after him, and then he's like, they have all the shopping carts, stacked up. I'm like, this is the kind of crazy apocalypse that I want to see.
Right, with crazy zombies that are running at you.
Right? Keep your cardio up.
That's rule number 1, right? Cardio.
I think rule number 1 is double tap. Isn't it double tap?
All right, then rule number 2 is cardio. I know it's
Mm-hmm.
one of the first 2 rules for how to survive a zombie apocalypse.
Exactly.
All right, let's keep moving.
I feel the need to do my own stunts.
I need to sprint everywhere I go because I am a man in my. Is he in his 60s already?
No, he's got to be in his 50s.
Yeah,
You know, he may be in his 60s.
he might be in his 60s now, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't look it, but I mean, like, you know.
Yeah. I was listening to this podcast, so it was Two Bears, One Cave, and it had Burt Kreischer and Jake Johnson. And Jake Johnson did a movie with Tom Cruise,
Mhm.
and Tom Cruise like does quirky things like, "Hey Jake, why don't you fly with me?" He's like, okay," and everybody's like, "You gotta be careful what you do. Like,
Yeah.
there's only water. There's no soda on the flight. There's no alcohol. 12-hour flight. You know, it's that is what it is. You have to play by Tom Cruise's rules when you're on Tom Cruise's private jet. You know what I mean?"
Right.
So it was all this crazy stuff where Jake's like, I just want to drink. I want to hang out. But he's like, I can't because Tom Cruise doesn't let me drink. But it was funny that Tom Cruise, he started doing Tom Cruise's workout. So he got all happy. Like Tom's excited that I'm working out. So he's excited. And then the directors and the showrunners were like, hey, Tom, Jake's losing a little too much weight. He was supposed to be chubby, but you're kind of making him skinny.
I just looked it up. Tom Cruise is 61.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And he's like, no, it's good. Jake's getting skinny. It's all good. We're good. We'll fix it later. Nobody will notice. But then Jake's like, okay, great. I'm getting skinny. I'm keeping up with Tom Cruise. We're running from like plane to plane or plane to, limo and all that. And then he's like, I look behind me and there's all these chubby makeup artists trying to keep up with Tom Cruise and his pace, and they're not working out like Tom Cruise. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I don't know why I had to do it. Anyway, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is set to zipline its way onto Paramount streaming service on Thursday, January 25th.
Oh, we're getting a lot of stuff on the 25th.
I know. I'm down with this. But the 7th movie in the franchise has dropped part 1 from its title. So it looks like they're going to change the title of the Dead Reckoning part 2 to Dead Reckoned. I don't know. We finished Reckoning and now we're running.
So if the first one is Dead Reckoning, that means the second one is going to be We Found Our Way Through the Forest.
Keep running. Keep running. Is that what it is?
Just keep swimming. Just keep running. Just keep running. Tom Cruise has more cardio than anybody else in the world. That's what
I know. It's nuts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it going. This one's kind of fun. So in What If I Could Do This All Day news, Marvel Studios is already looking to hype up What If Season 3 with 4 new images that they released. The photos feature Sam Wilson as Captain America teaming with Monica Rambeau. And then there's a Captain America style Gundam mech suit.
Yeah, I saw it. So we've got the first 2 pictures on the screen right now. I've got the other 2 too, once you describe them here.
So Bucky Barnes and Gundam mech suit. And then the next 2 are Bucky Barnes and Red Guardian hanging out, literally.
Which I'm assuming I'm assuming that's from the
clip that got released
right.
a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It's them on their buddy cop escapades.
Right.
And then there's a clip of Ant-Man playing manhandling Red Guardian, which the first 2 pictures, right? Captain America and Monica Rambeau and the Gundam suits could be the same episode, right? And then maybe this episode with Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, and then Red Guardian with Ant-Man, those could be the same episode because you know how Bucky and Red Guardian were on the run. Maybe Ant-Man's trying to help capture the Red Guardian or something.
Right.
So
it's interesting. It's just the Gundam idea, and I think actually Fox had the rights to Gundam, so that's why Disney can do that.
Maybe.
'Cause
I
know-
mean, they don't have to say Gundam.
no, but it's very, very like that is very borderline, copyright infringement, stealing Gundam mechs. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah, especially with the way they look, they very much look like Gundams.
Yeah, they don't look Iron Man-esque. They look Gundam-esque.
Yeah, because Gundams are very distinct, so they look like Gundam Wing.
So we don't have a date yet for What If Season 3, but with all this stuff coming out, I think we're going to be getting What If sometime this year.
Oh, absolutely. It feels like they've already got the work done.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And I think it's going to be, you know how they did that kind of Marvel event where it was like release it on the 22nd and then 9 episodes all the way through Christmas, yada yada, which was kind of fun. I don't think we're going to wait until Christmas. I think this is going to be sooner.
yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's weird when we agree on things.
Absolutely, it is.
So
right?
let's just move on. And
Yeah. In fantasy news, because you know I have to read this one just because.
Oh yeah, you're upset about this one.
I'm going to I'm gonna hate speech the hell out of this, right?
Oh yeah.
In unrelatable fantasy news, Disney CEO Bob Iger made $31.6 million in 2023.
Jeez.
Before you begrudge Bob, which I am going to, this is down from $45.9 million that he made in 2021, which was his last prior full year of employment at the company.
Come on, it's 15 million less. Come on.
It doesn't matter. He still makes more than anybody could ever spend in a year.
We'll see.
Variety broke down Iger's 2023 pay package, which included $865,385 in base salary, plus $16.1 million in stock awards, $10 million in stock option awards, $2.14 million cash bonus, and $2.48 million in other compensation. Yeah, and other compensation. Like, hey, we're gonna buy the house for you, so in that way, you can continue to tell people that they don't deserve a living wage.
Yeah.
All right. This is all according to the company's proxy statement filed Tuesday with the SEC.
Wow.
Just a reminder, while Iger made that kind of money, he implemented mass layoffs, which ultimately affected more than 8,000 workers, among other cost-cutting and strategic moves. So it's like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna make $31.6 million. It's less than what I made when I was in 2021 when I stepped down. Yeah, but
right.
You cost other people, I don't know what, 50,000.
I mean, his base salary is less than $1 million. Is that
his base salary is less than $1 million? When how many people that work at Disney make anywhere between 40 to 80,000 a year?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
What's so crazy about this? 865,000 base salary, 16 million in stock options, 10 million in stock option awards. Like, you could take away 10 million in stock option awards and it's still huge numbers.
He 2.14 million in cash bonus. Like, you don't for what? Reinvest that in the company. Okay, I'm not gonna continue.
That's a lot of Dole Whip that you can buy. 2.4 million. That's a lot of Dole Whip.
2.14 million is a lot of money, so that people can afford to buy their houses. But hey, let's instead of letting people have homes, let's just cut 8,000 workers. Right?
Yeah.
Our contract with Disney runs through the end of 2026. Guys, enjoy your churros.
Oh my gosh. And those churros are going directly into Bob Iger's pocket.
Oh yeah, every time you buy a churro, an expensive churro at Disney, right? Because remember, they just up the prices at Disneyland again.
Yeah. They're gonna give him a quarter. Every churro sold, he gets a quarter.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
If any of these CEOs were actual, people and not ghouls, and they cared about people rather than I'm gonna give $1 million to charity, which is nice to an extent, but they're only doing it because it's a write-off. You know,
Yes, that's a
give
good
give
point.
give that $2.14 million back to investing into the company and give everybody a raise. There you go. That's how you fix that. All right, let's get into the next.
Well,
I don't-
Netzo's got a perfect plan. Like, instead of giving your money to Bob Iger and Disney, you know, she prefers her churros from Mexico. So just go give your money to Mexicans, and it's perfect.
I'm not against that in any way. Give all of your money to Mexicans.
There you go. On a brighter note, here's a fun casting update for the upcoming Tron Ares third film from Disney. Disney. X-Files star Gillian Anderson has joined the project. I am liking this. I'm down with this. The movie is now being directed by Joaquin Roning from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and Kon-Tiki. And Jared Leto is set to star. Cool. I dig it.
Yeah.
I like me some Gillian Anderson. I've always enjoyed her acting.
Gillian
I do have.
great.
Go ahead.
I was saying Gillian Anderson's great.
Mhm.
I love her in X-Files. I love all the things that she does. It's gonna be interesting to see Jared Leto and how he takes on the role.
I do have a I fight Opsis for the user's synopsis.
I fight Opsis for the user's synopsis. Synopsis.
The story for the movie is going to focus on the emergence of a sentient program that has somehow crossed over into the human world. Leto will take on the role of Ares, which is the manifestation of the Tron program. Leto is said to be playing a video game programmer and tech CEO in what is described as the leading role. And no set date when we will be going back to the grid.
I wonder if at any point, if he is going to be a manifestation of the Tron, if he does end up saying, "I fight for the users."
It's almost like in reverse. You know how the first one was the lead programmer going into the grid or whatever.
Right.
Now it feels like it's the whatever the AI coming out of the grid into the real world.
It's interesting that they tap Leto to play this character when in the last movie, Cillian Murphy was like, the new CEO, and it's like you could have gotten Cillian Murphy to play this role.
No way, man. Cillian Murphy's too busy setting off nuclear bombs. You know what I mean? Oppenheimer style. You can't waste Cillian. Okay, keep it going. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's J.J. Abrams' Superman movie. Oh my goodness. Several years ago, it was announced that J.J. Abrams was producing a new Superman reboot for Warner Brothers. This film said to focus on a black version of Superman, which we've seen in the comics.
Right.
There hasn't been any updates on the project for years, and with James Gunn and Peter Safran coming in to lead the charge at DC Studios, some fans assume that this project was dead, but that is not the case. A fan reached out to Gunn on social media. He is way on top of social media.
Yeah, he is.
And asked if the Elseworld Superman film was still in development, and Abrams responded with a simple yes.
I'm all with this, man.
Yeah.
I love this character. What's his name? Val Zod
Yes.
is the Black Superman. Val Zod is an amazing character, and I love the idea of bringing Val Zod and telling that alternate storyline, because it is very, very different from the Superman that we know. With Kal-El, Kal-El is essentially a man that looks white, and he deals with different hardships that Val Zod, being the same exact character, deals with a lot more, kind of like, because of America, deals with a lot more, like, civil rights and different issues that he has to deal with. So I mean,
right,
it's a very interesting take on the character, because it is Kal-El is very different from Val Zod.
Yeah, I dig this. I think it's cool that James Gunn and Peter Safran are still open to these Elseworld storylines, projects that were talked about, J.J. Abrams being involved in this project. I think it's cool that it's still, as of right now, on the table. They even talked about yes, this is being produced by J.J. Abrams, but they're looking for, a black director, black Superman, and kind of a black centric cast. So I think it's good representation. It'd be cool to see this come to fruition.
I wonder if Michael B. Jordan becomes attached to this because he was working on a Val Zod film too. And then when Gunn came on, he stopped working on it. So I wonder if J.J. Abrams is like, we're developing this, but we want to do a black centric character with the black director. Hey, Michael B. Jordan, you were working on a black Superman movie. Would you like to be involved in this?
Let's collaborate on this. Yeah,
right. That would be cool to have him come in and do that character.
Exactly. Whether he plays the character or produces.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he could play that character. Like he would play the shit out of that character.
Right. Or maybe Jonathan Majors. I heard he's free right now. Too soon.
Too soon.
All right, my bad. Let's keep it moving. And the winner is, we don't know yet. The nominations for the 1996 Oscars have been. Oh wait, sorry. The 96th. Dang, I screwed that up. We'll edit it. We'll fix this.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah. The 96th Oscars have been announced, and Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer leads the pack with 13 nominations. That's followed by Searchlight's Poor Things with 11 nominations, Apple's original film Killers of the Flower Moon, which got 10 nominations, and Warner Brothers' Barbie got 8 noms. All right. All of these are nominated for Best Picture. But that's like, okay, we've seen that, right? Golden Globes, we got it. Those are the front runners. Surprisingly, Barbie has a couple of big snubs. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig did not land a nomination for Best Director, that's so crazy. And Margot Robbie did not get the Best Actress nomination.
Oh,
right?
Wow. Which is actually really surprising because Ryan Gosling got nominated for Best Supporting.
Exactly. Like, what kind of weird snub is this? And then on top of that, America Ferrera landed a nom for Best Supporting Actress. So they were like, hey, Greta, hey, Margot, thanks a lot, but we can't let women be on top, so we're not going to nominate you. So crazy.
That makes no sense to me. To not even give her the nomination. It's like, it's not only that it was the most successful movie, it is like critically one of the best movies of the year. And it's like, you're not going to give Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie unless they pissed off somebody in the Academy, which is actually possible, and that would really suck. But I mean, you got to remember the Academy is still like an old boys club.
True, very true. Very true.
So if you piss off the board for the Academy, they'll take you out of anything, right? And it's like, yeah, we'll give credit to Barbie. We're gonna give credit to the male actor, and I mean they are giving credit to America Ferrera, who also did a great job in the movie, but you're not going to give it to Margot Robbie. You're not going to give it to Greta Gerwig, who both basically wrote and put this movie together.
I know, it's so messed up.
So
messed up. Even if there was some kind of weird behind the scenes drama, I think this action of not nominating Greta and not nominating Margot sets a bad precedent. And I could see, Ryan Gosling, I could see America Ferrera boycotting the Oscars because of this. I think it creates more drama than the lesson of, hey, we're gonna keep you in your place because we're the Oscars.
I wonder who actually got nominated for Best Actress.
I can look it up. I think I have it here in the link. For Best Actress or Director. So director, Justine Triet from Anatomy of the Fall, Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos, Poor Things, and then Jonathan Glazer, The Zone of Interest. I think all those got Golden Globe nominations, except for Jonathan Glazer, The Zone of Interest. And I may be wrong. I may be wrong.
That's why I'm like, Jonathan Glazer in The Zone of Interest. Okay, I get it. They like to give art house movies, nominations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, dude, over Greta Gerwig? Like,
Yeah,
I don't.
it's nuts.
It doesn't make sense to me at all.
And then let's see, for leading actress, Annette Bening in Naiad, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, which I think she's going to take it, Sandra Hüller, Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan, Maestro, Emma Stone, Poor Things. Yeah.
Yeah.
None of those stand out as like, yeah, definitely you over Margot Robbie.
Well, Emma Stone, but I mean, like, Emma Stone is an amazing actress. I've never seen anything that she's done that wasn't great. You know what I mean? Like, she's always good in everything that she's in. So that I understand. Anytime you do that, and plus that movie has just critical love. So she's probably one of the ones in there that I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But I mean, like, at least 3 of the actresses that you named, could have been replaced easily with Margot Robbie.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I don't feel that that's right. And a lot of people have been not liking the way that the Oscars have been going. There's been a lot of boycotts in the Oscars because of the way that they've been picking things for the last couple of years. So
yeah, it's an odd one. So whatevs. Let's keep it going.
Yeah. So before we move on here, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest for the next two stories that we're going to talk about here. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as the host of the STS Wrestling podcast. Oh, it's been a little while since he's done an episode. But I am doing the summoning of Jester G-Man in the form of how do we summon Jester G-Man? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the man we haven't seen for a while, Jester G-Man.
John Cena. What's going on, guys?
What up, G?
What's going on?
Jester, we miss you, man. It's been, I think the last time that we had you on the show was when I think it was SummerSlam.
Yeah, it was almost 2 years ago, actually. Yeah.
SummerSlam of like 2003, like Honky Tonk was in that.
Seems like that. Yeah, it seems like it. But well, hopefully my hiatus is not going to continue for very much longer. So I'll put that foreshadowing out there. So,
I like it. You know what? It's like you're fine tuning on the indies on the house shows.
Exactly. I'm staying out of the spotlight for a little bit and then coming back to TV.
Repackaged.
Right.
I like this. Yeah. So we need you for these next couple articles. So let me get through some of this, and then we're gonna need you to help kind of
just give us
unpack this for us.
Exactly.
Sure. I'll do my best to do that for you.
All right. So finally, The Rock has come back to the boardroom.
If you smell,
Damn it, that's the only one that does that.
The great one has a seat at the table, which we should talk more about that statement later. As announced in a press release, TKO Group Holdings has appointed Dwayne The Rock Johnson to its board of directors. TKO cited Johnson's experience in brand building as a reason for his inclusion, making note of his portfolio that includes $7 Productions, Terramana Tequila, Zoa Energy, Project Rock, and the United Football League. This is super cool. In exchange for his presence within the board, Johnson has been granted full ownership of the trademarked The Rock nickname.
Wow.
That is so cool. So when you first heard this news, guys, what were you thinking? What did you think about this announcement from TKO?
Well, not to sort of rib somebody, but how many more times is The Rock going to replace Vince McMahon on something? You know what I mean? I mean, what did he do? He took the XFL. He took the and now he's taking his board seat on the chairman of on the board of directors.
Wow,
So,
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's a good point.
But hey, who would you rather have at this point? Would you rather have? I mean, don't get me wrong. Back in the day, Vince McMahon was great, but now it's time for him to kind of step aside. He's a grandfather, for God's sakes. He needs to go home, do his thing, and now you got The Rock, and I think The Rock's gonna kick butt. I think he is. I think he's going to kick butt on the board of directors, and he's got his good pal Triple H with him too. So they're kind of a team. I don't know if y'all saw those pictures of them sort of together on the press conference or whatever. I don't know if y'all seen any of those pics, but
no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so they showed some pics of when they first started wrestling each other when they were really young. Like Triple H was the Blue Blood, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and Rock was Rocky Maivia. Then they had the middle picture where I think they were wrestling somewhere in the middle of their career when they got bigger and everything. And then it showed them in the last picture of them kind of at the top of WWE and the top of TKO and stuff. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of
Nation
long-term booking, long-term storytelling.
Right. Nation
right there,
versus
greatest.
Generation X was like the height of them in the Attitude Era, because it was like the Rock was leading the Nation at that point. And it was like him versus the corporation, when he became a part of the corporation and all that. And then they're going up against D-Generation X. Like one of the most memorable moments out of all of that was when Triple H came out as the Rock, and he was The Rock says this, like just like messing around and all that kind of stuff. And then The Rock coming back out and making fun of Triple H. Like those were some of the best moments, when they would do stuff like that. And these are two dudes that make the most sense for being in charge of this stuff. Triple H is one of the best creatives in wrestling and should be at the top with all the stuff. That guy,
absolutely.
That company runs so much better when Paul's at the helm of it. And Dwayne is proven to be somebody who knows how to run business in general. I think that's the reason they're bringing him onto the board. That's the reason they cited all of the successful companies that he's had, because he is very successful in any company he runs, and he also knows what the fans want.
Yep. He actually kind of added that during his statement. So he said, The Rock said this: "My grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia, and my dad, Rocky Soulman Johnson, would have never thought this day would come, which is why I'm very humbled to have a seat at the table that has decades of history and family legacy for me, a table that my family helped build. Being on the TKO board of directors and taking full ownership of my name, The Rock, is not only unprecedented but incredibly inspiring, as my crazy life is coming full circle. At my core, I'm a builder, like what you were saying. I'm a builder who builds for and serves the people. I'm very motivated to help continue to globally expand our TKO, WWE, and UFC businesses as the worldwide leaders in sports and entertainment, while proudly representing so many phenomenal athletes and performers who show up every day, putting in the hard work with their own two hands to make their dreams come true and deliver for our audiences. I've been there, I'm still there, and this is for them." Perfect.
Yeah. What's crazy about all of this is him talking about it being full circle and coming back around and everything like that. I mean, the business is a part of him, and he truly has come out to show that he is the people's champion. It's not just a title and a gimmick that he had when he was wrestling. He is the people's champion because he does everything he can to help people. He does everything he can to entertain people the best that he can. He's well deserving of being on the board of TKO and totally having decisions over the WWE. We make jokes all the time about, how do you summon James? Say The Rock sucks 3 times. But in all reality, that dude is a true real life superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And two things. So take it. You can also say, even going back, even piggybacking off what Phil just said, you can also say he's the ultimate inspiration, because what was his story? He started with what, $7 in his pocket when he first
Mhm.
started, and now look where he's sitting right now.
Yeah.
He's like one of the most powerful people in this wrestling business. And to take another rib, and I think John Mez was going with this earlier, is so does Roman just hand him the head of the table now? I mean, because he basically is the head of the table now.
He is the head of the table, like really the head of the table. The dude is
Yeah.
not just like, he is not just the most famous name in their entire family.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, Roman is massive, but he's not the Rock big still.
Oh yeah, no disrespect to Roman. It's
Yeah,
just
at
that
all.
it's the Rock, you know.
Yeah.
It's the Rock.
You know, like, yeah, and then same thing again. I'm never gonna say a bad word about Junior, because again, especially after meeting him, Junior is probably one of the coolest dudes ever, right? Junior Fatu, Rikishi.
Mhm.
But and you know, we know like Junior's legacy is like, you know, that entire family line is running through Junior right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because I guess you know, Alpha's son is the head of the head of the table right now, but I mean, you know, Peter Maiavia's grandson is the head of that family.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah. And you know, if you think about it, like for us, longtime wrestling fans, he coming from the Attitude Era, he is one of our guys. He's one of our top wrestlers, but he also has the history and the traditions that we kind of nerd out on. And, you know, when it was WWF and the indie scenes and,
Yeah.
you know, all that, like we love all that. But for today and the new generation, he's their movie star. He's their Michael Jordan with Project Rock, and you know, he's the coolest guy in the room with, you know, Terramana Tequila and all that stuff. He's like the perfect mix of like honoring tradition and having a history that we can all hook onto, but then also pushing forward this social media icon, this Oprah, you know, for today's generation.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect choice to have him there. I'm
Very much
super into this. I dig it.
Yeah,
I dig it. It kind of makes it, you know, honestly, it gives me more faith and clout in TKO, and they're building something for their future, because knowing that they have The Rock as their figurehead, you know, he's on the board of directors, but guess what? You're gonna have to show up to events and be the face of TKO. He's gonna be at wrestling events, whether it's just talking or maybe in the ring, but he's also going to be at UFC events, you know,
right?
Anything going on, The Rock is going to be there. So
the dude is a massive representation of, you know, just kind of everything that's out there. And again, I think that it is a smart power move to have Dwayne and Paul both on the board making decisions for WWE, because they not only have the best intentions, but they know they came from a period where it was at its most successful. So I think these are dudes who understand how to make it successful again.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Dwayne is making the XFL relevant again.
United Football League, sir.
United Football. Well, that's what I'm saying. With merging with what was the other football league?
The USFL.
The USFL, with merging with the USFL and doing the United Football League, like now there's off-season football, which wasn't a thing for like the longest time, and it's fairly successful. So I mean, I think they found the formula.
You know, a funny little story is, and you know, I have no way to validate this. Obviously, I can just say that this was just a personal. If my dog was in here, you know, she was a witness. But you know, it was funny when the USFL and the XFL wrapped up their this past season in 2023. I said, you know what? Why don't these two leagues just merge? Because they're just kind of treading water by themselves. You know, they're going against each other, and obviously you're never going to touch the big daddy. You're not going to touch the NFL, but if you merge together, I feel like it would be a little bit better, and you would probably last longer. And I was just saying this to myself while I was walking my dog around my neighborhood, and I said, you know, that's kind of funny. And sure enough, like 2 weeks later, it said XFL and USFL plan to merge, and I'm like, man, somebody's reading my mind. Is there like conspiracy theories going on here? I don't know what's going on, but it was kind of funny and like I said, I have no way to validate that story that I've predicted that to happen, but I was just kind of just saying that. I was like, it's kind of silly. You got two leagues with 8 teams, and they weren't doing bad. I mean, I watched it; it was entertaining and stuff. But I mean, I'm like, how long can you really sustain it?
Exactly.
How long can you really sustain it?
That's how the NFL started, though. Like, it was the AFL and the NFL. They merged together and became what we know now as the NFL. And
thanks to who? Al Davis. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Go Raiders.
I'll give credit where credit's due. You're right. You're right.
Too bad.
Bang bang Raider gang.
Too bad.
Bang Davis gang. Stop talking about your Niners.
This guy so upset that the Niners are so much better of a team.
Anyways,
No,
I tell you what, though. I mean, they're a good team. They're going to have their hands full with Detroit, though. I think
Oh my
Detroit's a good story.
We have to move on, but I'm just gonna.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna end it with this. Detroit is gonna be a handful if we can make it past Detroit, which I'm hoping. As a Niner fan, I think that we have a chance against Detroit.
Sure.
In the Super Bowl, no disrespect to the Chiefs, but the Ravens are unstoppable right now.
I agree.
So the Ravens are going to be. If it's Niners Raiders in the Super Bowl,
yes,
a Niner fan, I sadly have to say it's going to be the Ravens because they mopped the floor with us in the regular season.
Yeah,
and that wasn't that far off towards the to the end of our regular season. So I sadly think that the Ravens are probably going to take it all the way and win the ring. If the Niners can get their shit together, and if they can get their defense where it was, a couple years ago, because we're the 7th defense in the NFL, so it's not like we're doing all that great. The issue is that you have the 7th defense in the NFL going up against the number 1 offense in the NFL, and defense wins championships. So the issue that comes into play is, if they can figure out all the issues and mistakes they made in the first game, which most of the stuff Brock Purdy threw 4 interceptions for the first time in his career. And none of it was him misstepping. It was just their defense was so on point. Yep.
That was what, back in Thanksgiving? Was that?
No, that was after Thanksgiving. This was
that was Christmas night. No, that was Christmas night, I think. Yeah, that's right.
They like I said, they blocked 4 attempts and recovered the ball on all 4 of those. So the interceptions were forced interceptions and not it wasn't Brock Purdy making mistakes. It was just their defense is that damn.
Their defenses. Yeah, not a lot of weaknesses on that Ravens team.
Right. So that's where I'm afraid as a Niner fan is I feel like we have a better chance against Detroit, even though that's not going to be an easy game. It surprises me that Detroit is doing so well.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's going to be a bad game. I think that the Niners have a chance to beat Detroit. It's not going to be a walk in the park like half the teams we played in the season was.
Right.
But if we get past Detroit, I don't think we're going to get past the Ravens, sadly, as a Niner fan. I want us to get past the Ravens. I want us to pull the upset and get that 6th ring. But, there's a good chance it's not going to happen. And that's me being realistic as a Niner fan.
Well, all we can hope is for a good game.
Yeah. But that's enough on this. Let's get into the story that everybody's been waiting for, because everybody in the chat's been talking about this one. So I know we're all excited for this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want more WWE news, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Yeah,
WWE
what?
flagship show is heading to Netflix.
What?
The streamer has been on the lookout to increase its live content offering to subscribers, dabbling in comedy specials and reality TV shows.
What?
But what Netflix has really wanted is to secure a deal for live sports, which streaming companies have started to expand into, like Hulu has live sports.
What?
Max has added a live sports tier for subscribers.
What?
And Peacock and Paramount Plus have live sports as well.
What?
And then, of course, like I just mentioned, Hulu has live sports.
What?
Okay, so with all that being said,
Max does too, doesn't it? Or did you say that?
That's I keep saying that because that's that's in Hulu's commercials.
Oh, got it.
Hulu has live sports. So this will be the first time Raw isn't on linear television since it debuted over 31 years ago. Netflix will be the exclusive new home for Raw, which means no more USA.
Yeah. Well, USA gets SmackDown, don't they?
Are they?
Yeah, I think they got SmackDown.
Okay, because Fox.
Yeah, because they're leaving Fox in October. So
Gotcha.
and I think SmackDown is going to USA.
Okay, that makes sense. They'll still have.
But you're right. Raw is going to be leaving USA for where it's been for like a long, long time.
Yeah, and it's as far as I know, it's always been on Raw. I mean, it's always been on USA, right? So
it had a few years where it went to TNN, which later became Spike, but I don't think it became Spike when Raw was on it. It was still the TNN network,
right?
But then that was only like for a few years, and then they went back to USA.
USA, I remember that.
Yeah. So they had a little brief hiatus.
Right. Netflix's new partnership with WWE and TKO Group Holdings Incorporated will see WWE Monday Night Raw move from USA Network to Netflix starting in January of 2025.
What?
So this is great for WWE, but what does this mean for the streaming landscape in general that something this big is going to be live on a streamer?
What do you guys think? I think this is going to be huge.
Yeah.
For a huge get for WWE, but I think it's going to start trickling down into, say, AEW. And what is AEW going to do? I think, it's going to be that what is it, rising tides, raises all ships or whatever. Right. I think everybody's going to get a boost on this, whether it's WWE or it's going to be AEW goes to Max somehow, right. or maybe like some other companies like TNA, who just got rebranded from Impact, gets a pop and does something with a streamer or something like that. So we'll see what I think. NWA has a contract now. I think is going to be like on CW or something like that.
That was going to happen. I don't think that's happening anymore.
Yeah.
Something happened with that.
I think other promotions are going to benefit from this.
Yeah.
Because I
agree.
They're going to see value in wrestling and be like, wait, you guys do this all the time? Oh yeah, we do it all the time. Give us your content. It's going to be a content grab.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. This is what worries me about this as a precedent. Netflix is already charging more and more and more every year. Their prices have steadily gone up. Basic packages are like $15 now. It's like $25 if you want 4K, which I downgraded from because it's expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are starting, especially I think the bad precedent that comes with this is if you are able to say we have Raw live on our show, on our network, on our app, which is one of the most watched shows in the country when it comes to live viewing, like the only thing it's only second to like to major football events, like the Super Bowl, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If Raw is coming to Netflix and they can advertise that, this is going to be an excuse for them to raise their prices again. This is going to be something where they go $35 for Netflix. And it's, I think this is going to be their excuse to justify essentially becoming the new cable service, like basically, cable has been charging like, at the lowest $40, at the most, you can pay like 80 to 120 a month for like certain packages and stuff. Netflix is starting to become that. It's like an on-demand cable service.
Yeah. And
that precedent is like the whole idea of streaming services was so that you cut the cords and you don't pay as much. Well, now between Netflix and Max, you're paying way more than just having cable.
I see what you're saying. I get your point of view.
That scares me.
I don't think Netflix is going to be raising the prices just for Raw. I think people like my wife who's watching Bridgerton or whatever, who doesn't give, two F's about Raw, right? They don't want to pay extra for Raw. I think Netflix will be aware of another price increase, and if that happens, but it won't be due to Raw
No, but
coming on board.
what I'm saying is more so the only way to watch Raw is if you have this tier, and it's an excuse for them to raise up the prices, and people will be willing to pay for that.
Well, here's what I also looked up too. I looked up also when Peacock's contract is going to be up with WWE, and that's going to be up around early 2026. So I think what's ultimately going to happen is, yes, they're going to bring Raw in January of 2025. And, you obviously both of you have valid, concerns and valid points and everything. And we're not even
Mine's
sure
more valid than Young Phil's. Mine is definitely more valid than Young Phil's.
Well, but we don't know what Netflix is going to do. We don't know if they're going to use this as an excuse to raise prices. We don't know if they're going to use this as an excuse to actually develop a kind of a productive tier system, what they're going to do. But I think what also is probably going to happen is Peacock is eventually going to give up the WWE content to Netflix. And I think Netflix is going to get all the WWE content from Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of the WWE is going to be on Netflix.
Including what is it? Premium live events.
Yep. I think everything's going to Netflix by 2026.
I think that's the end goal, is that Netflix wants those premium live events, the pay-per-views. I think they want those more than just, I think they do want the weekly stuff. I think they want that year round. Hey, people will be tuning in at this time for this. Now, here's a question for you guys. We know that Raw is 3 hours, and a ton of wrestling fans think Raw is too long for 3 hours.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen to the ads?
So they basically already addressed this a little bit. So basically it is going to be, and this is where Young Phil's concerns become kind of reality a little bit, is if you have a certain tier of Netflix, this is what they're kind of predicting is going to happen. If you have a certain tier of Netflix, you're going to be commercial free, because now the ads that you see on USA for all the stuff like that's going away. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to kind of do what like Peacock or whatever the other services do. They're going to show you advertisements that have to do with their service or whatever is involved with their service. You're not going to see the normal ads that you usually saw for Raw, for, various businesses that cable would put on there. So if you have the commercial free, they said actually what you're going to see is what you would see if you were actually in the arena. So you would see like them doing what they do when they go to commercial. Like if you're sitting there, that's what you're going to see. But obviously if you have like the lowest tier, which would probably be not commercial free, you would have to go, you would take a break, sort of how like Peacock and Peacock Premium work, if you're, or Premium Plus and Premium, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like on the premium live events, if you have premium, you go to commercial breaks during some of the things on the premium live events. And then on Premium Plus, you actually get the preview while everybody else is having ads. Right. So I think it's going to kind of work a little bit similar to that. But that could potentially be kind of cool for like Netflix certain tier where you're acting like you're sitting at home streaming it, but you're acting like you're sitting there in the arena and you're watching what they're doing when, other people are at commercial. And the commercials won't be as long either. The commercial breaks obviously won't be as long either.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, like Peacock,
so it's going to knock down the 3 hours, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Like I have Peacock now, and I don't have the ad-free version. I have the normal version, and I think it's maybe a minute long of ads.
Right. Yeah.
And they pack it. Sometimes there's like 2 or 3 ads, so the ads become super short individually, but they usually take up only about a minute, if that.
Yeah.
And I don't have a Netflix tier that has ads because I'm bougie, and I like my Netflix ad free, so I don't know what it's like on Netflix with ads.
Well, that's my thing. I mean, I have Netflix too, but do they have a different tiers now? I don't think
I
they
don't-
have.
They
different
do have
tiers.
lower tiers that are like $10 for with ads and stuff like that.
Okay, all
Even like
right.
Disney
Okay.
Plus has lower tiers with ads now.
Okay, I guess we have the one without ads then, I guess.
Mm.
so okay. But I mean, like I said, you could I mean, I don't know. Like I said, there's a thousand ways you could play this scenario. I mean, like I said, both things could happen. You know, they could find a way to raise the prices, or they could take this opportunity to
Mhm.
really dig down deep and say, okay, we need to make an affordable tier system so that we can get more eyes viewing all this, and not just get the ones that can afford a $35 bill a month. And we don't want to
Right.
essentially become cable again, because that's kind of what people are trying to get away from anyway. So,
Right.
you know,
I'm laughing because Sewong in the chat, like we're getting into the weeds of ads. You know, we have no idea what's going to happen, but
yeah.
we're talking about the
I
timing of
agree.
ads.
I agree.
And Sewong's, meanwhile, New Japan fans, we don't care.
But
It's
again,
so
what
true.
you were saying too is, I agree with you. It's going to set the precedence for other promotions as well.
Yeah.
So I think
Mhm.
once this happens with WWE going to Netflix, yes, you're going to see AEW get into something. You're going to see TNA, which I don't know if you guys have heard this, but does TNA? I thought I read this somewhere, and I thought somebody was talking about it on their podcast. I saw some other YouTube channels. Does TNA and WWE kind of have a silent partnership?
There's been rumors that
Yeah.
that there have been like kind of like
I think I heard that somewhere, that they
I
have
know
a silent partnership or something. from what I-
WWE and New Japan have had some like partnerships in the past.
Yeah, I know Triple H is trying to revive that, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
trying to revive the relationship with New Japan, I think.
Well, because when Vince came back, he cut it off, and then now that Vince is gone again, it's like, okay,
Right.
let's fix this.
Right.
Because he understands, again, Paul understands the fans. He understands that they want, these forbidden doors. They want these these crossovers with different things. Like, the ultimate crossover would be if if AEW and WWE could work together and we could have crossover matches between them. But like, until then, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I think this could be, like I said, like John Mez was saying, I think this could be good for everybody, because like I said, it could really like I said, it could be kind of a uniform kind of plan for all the promotions to kind of go forward.
Yeah.
And just get more exposure.
They're setting like a blueprint.
Yeah,
Whether
blueprint.
it's WWE on the biggest scale, or AEW, or Impact, it's there, or TNA, I should say.
Mhm.
They're setting a blueprint where, like, hey, follow this. You may not find the biggest streamer, whether it's Netflix or Max or somebody, but you might find somebody else, or Peacock could go like, hey, that did okay. Who else can bring me content like
Mhm.
WWE? Hey, Impact or New Japan, show me what you got.
Right,
That sort of thing. So
LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We should say, Jester G, Garland, you're awesome. Thank you for jumping on. We
Hey,
totally
no problem.
appreciate
Thanks for
you
having me.
helping out, bringing your expertise on this, so we can get a little bit more deeper with this content. So thank you so much, buddy.
No problem.
Yeah,
And once again,
Coming on.
give us the plugs. Give us the plugs for the podcast,
Oh, put me on the spot here. Okay.
for
All
the,
right.
for the IG.
if
Well-
anybody wants to follow you, where can they follow more Jester G, man?
So you can follow me. I'm not under, believe it or not, I'm not under Jester G Man, obviously, but I'm under my real name. So on Instagram, I'm under @GarlandB Jones. It's all one word.
Whoa, work the gimmick, bro. Come on, man.
Huh?
Work the gimmick.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm
What's the
also I'm not necessarily dropping the Jester G Man moniker. I'm not dropping it. I'm kind of semi-retiring it. So I'm going to be going under a new handle when I start my channel on here. So I'll let you stay tuned to that, though. I'll keep the cliffhanger going on that. It's not going to be really monumental, though. It's not going to be like a huge deal, but it's not going to be Jester G Man. I'll just say that.
Gotcha.
But you can call it, like I say, you can follow me on Instagram at Garland B Jones. That's really the only active one I have, other than when I start this channel. So it's just Instagram for now.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it right now. So so stay tuned. I'm probably going to start putting some content up here. Probably, well, what we got Royal Rumble this weekend, don't we?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. We do.
So I don't know if I'm going to do necessarily a preview for the Royal Rumble, but I will probably definitely be talking about the Royal Rumble afterwards, because I think the Royal Rumble is going to be pretty sweet this year, because you have so many people that I think could win this thing. I don't have a clue really to pick, because there's different scenarios where you can there's different scenarios that you can go with a lot of people who have a very strong case to win the Royal Rumble, I think. Obviously the most popular one is, some people think Cody's going to repeat. I don't know if I'd necessarily agree with that. I'm not saying I don't want to see it, but I'm not saying I just don't know if I agree with that. CM Punk has a very good story to actually do it. Although I don't know if you guys recently heard Seth Rollins is injured, although he's going to try to take the title into WrestleMania anyway. So we'll see if it's still CM Punk and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I think Gunther is your sleeper pick. I think he might actually come by and win. He could.
Yeah, I agree. And Drew could be right in there.
Drew's got a good solid case too.
He can get a push at any point in time, especially with Seth hurt.
Yeah.
You know, there could be an easy push, so we shall see. I think the women's Royal Rumble is more of a mystery.
Yeah.
Oh,
I gotta ask both of you guys this, because the news that came out this morning.
Okay.
Do you guys think, because Naomi just dropped the strap, do you think that Naomi is going to show up in the Royal Rumble?
I have a big
yes, I do.
Yeah.
I think you're also going to see somebody else show up at the Royal Rumble that I think has been going back and forth of where she's going. This, like I said, I could be wrong about this, but I'm just pay attention to the signs, and I know there's a lot of people there on one side and a lot of people. And to be honest with you, I really don't care where she goes, because I think she'd be great in either place.
Are we talking about Miss Vernado?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
And
who?
Miss Vernado.
Sasha Banks.
Oh,
yeah.
Mercedes Vernado.
Or whatever her name is, Mercedes Moné, or whatever you want to call her. I'm cool with either character. I'm cool with either character.
Yeah.
But I think based on what we've seen on social media and all this stuff, and I know a lot of people are saying she's going to AEW right now. Like, I know that's the popular opinion, but I've been paying attention to the actions rather than the words.
Right.
And she was at the TNA show. She was at Hard to Kill with all of her buddies from WWE. Now I know that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I'm just saying. But she's been doing a lot of WWE references. Now I don't know if she's just trying to throw people off the scent, and she's trying to put a red herring out there and stuff, and then she's going to show up in AEW.
Yeah.
And then there was a few weeks ago where they said the talks had died between her and WWE. Well, they said the same thing about CM Punk too, and guess where he showed up?
Yeah, I know the fans want both of them back. I know.
Yeah.
90%, 99% of the reason they left was Vince, because Vince giving them shit storylines and saying that, well, we're going to use you guys as placeholders and not give any respect to your championship reign. And the both of them just said, fuck this, we're out. And which I don't blame them for leaving, because of the way that they were treated, the way that Vince treated them, Vince's old school mentality, and the way that his storylines need to be written. I know that Paul had a lot more respect over the both of them. So now that he's back in charge again, that TKO gave him the reins, there's more reason for both of them to come back, because they have massive fan bases within WWE.
Let me give you another thing I think about Sasha Banks coming back to WWE. So there's a little bit, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but there's a little bit of a rift going on between Damage Control. And it looks like somehow that the rumor is that the rest of Damage Control is going to turn on Bailey, and
Yeah.
it's going to be Dakota Kai that's pulling the strings and running the show. And what better way for her to counter Damage Control than to have one of her best friends come back, and Sasha Banks and Bailey coming back. So that's another thing I'm throwing out there. But
both of them as heels together is the best, because Sasha's already a good heel. Bailey's heel character has been great.
Yeah,
you have the two of them playing heel characters, right? Like they can play NWO versions of themselves, and then Trinity can come and be with them too.
Yes,
absolutely. Because they are
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Naomi, Trinity she is also an amazing wrestler. She's also best friends with the two of them.
Yep.
It makes sense to put the three of them together, especially now that they're putting stables together again.
Yep.
And have the three of them together and just be a force to be reckoned with.
Yep. And like I said, I don't want to seem like I'm picking sides. Like I don't have a favorite of where she should go. Like if Sasha Banks wants to be Mercedes Moné and go to AEW, that's fine and everything. I just think right now it makes more sense storyline wise.
Yeah.
Like if she goes back to WWE, she can fit right into a storyline. Right. It can be right there.
I agree. I think they'd bring Trinity / Naomi in for Royal Rumble, and then maybe Sasha makes that big Damage Control save at WrestleMania. That would be a huge
Could
pop.
be. It just depends on when they're going to pull the trigger with Bailey and Damage Control. Like, I don't know if they're going to wait till WrestleMania on that, or whether they're going to do it here. Because it seems like here they're going to pull it at Royal Rumble. Then it seems like they might wait. I don't know.
I think they generate a shit ton of buzz if they do it this Saturday, and that gives them time to create the storyline going forward between them and Damage Control.
Yeah. And I'm sure maybe Dakota Kai's health probably has a little bit to do with it too, with her bum knee and everything. Is that what she has? A knee injury, I think that's what she has. So they're probably trying, and obviously I don't know when her timetable is when she's supposed to be back too, but at least they're putting her on TV. So
if you guys want to talk about this more, it's almost like we need somebody to create a podcast so we can talk about this, man.
Yeah, we can speculate on more wrestling, man.
Yeah. You could talk about this for 5 hours if you wanted to.
I know.
STS Wrestling making the comeback.
I know. Jester Garland, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, man.
Thanks for having
me. This is like 20 minutes ago that we were like doing this, but we appreciate you so much, man. And we
appreciate you guys.
I can't wait to see what you guys do or what you do over at STS Wrestling, coming back, bringing STS Wrestling back. And again, we are more than happy to come and have more conversations with you.
Absolutely. So,
all right, man. Well,
thank you, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Night. Yeah.
All right, man. We'll see you later.
See you later.
All right, I got one fun. That was awesome. I love Chester. I love talking with him about wrestling.
Absolutely.
You got one final story.
Going. So you can see we just kept going, and it's like
I know
we had him. We had him put himself over like 20 minutes ago, and now it's like
yeah. I saw you give me the private chat light, like, hey, wrap it up. But then you kept talking, and then I had to keep talking.
Exactly.
I can let you hog it all. All right. Anyway, final story. Finish him. Over the past month, as filming continues on Mortal Kombat 2, producer Todd Garner has been teasing the characters that we'll be seeing in the sequel on the social media. The filmmaker has been posting images that either clearly reveal or merely tease the fighters he's excited about. This time, however, no mistaking who he's teasing because his name is written all over it. Johnny Cage.
Yep.
Who will be played by none other than Carl Urban from The Boys, is coming to Mortal Kombat 2. Yeah.
I'm excited for this, man.
So,
continue.
I was going to say, the newly released image shows a belt with the character's last name written in huge letters, which is also a nice attention to detail from the costume department because Johnny Cage is known in the Mortal Kombat franchise as a self-absorbed person who loves to toot his own horn. Mortal Kombat is yet to get a release date, but that's cool. I dig this.
There's a couple of different things that they revealed in these pictures too. So I mean, it looks like obviously we're getting Johnny Cage. We have this Johnny Cage picture, but there's also in the material that they put out, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are coming back.
Yeah.
Which spoilers from the last movie. If you didn't watch the last movie, they technically died, but they also, in the explanation for that, because it's not a hard explanation, I actually mentioned this in the last Mortal Kombat review that we did. All you have to do is bring in Quan Chi.
Quan Chi.
Which they announced Quan Chi is going to be in this movie. So if Quan Chi is in this movie, the sorcerer Quan Chi, that means he is going to be reviving the two of them and probably making them his slaves like they are in the games.
Perfect.
You know,
Perfect
so
way.
it makes a lot of sense. They said that they are still going to be focusing on what's his name? Michael Tan.
Mm-hmm.
On his character. He's still going to be like the primary character in the movie and everything like that, but they are going to focus around the tournament. They are going to focus on characters that like fan favorite characters and stuff. They are going to be making the story follow kind of like the current storyline in the video games a lot more closely, because he's taking the feedback that a lot of fans gave him from the first movie.
Yeah, I was wondering why they did that, like how they're retelling the original story.
Yeah.
But knowing that there's, Mortal Kombat 2 coming, it makes sense. It's like, hey, let's update Mortal Kombat for the next generation in movies and games.
Right. And I mean, like the whole idea was, I think what they were doing was establishing that that Shang Tsung was essentially trying to usurp power within Earthrealm, right? They also did say that the main Shao Kahn, that Shao Kahn is going to be in this movie too. They actually announced who's playing Shao Kahn. So
they announced that Luke Cage is going to exist in the Kelvin timeline. Is that also correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Call back.
He does exist in the Kelvin timeline because he is a character in that movie franchise.
I got so confused.
So good. So yeah, I'm excited for this, man. I cannot wait for this. I did like the first movie. There were a lot of surprises and things that were a little off, but I got exactly the rivalry between Scorpion and Sub-Zero was something I wanted, and they really did highlight that a lot. So
yeah, that was good. That was really good.
Yeah,
I like that storyline a lot. Okay, I think that's it for news.
That is it for the news. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the last segment here. It is now time for the breakdown.
Break it down. Oh, graphics department, you did such a good job.
The graphics department is on.
If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. All right.
It's no trying at all.
All right, the Echo series. We're going to break down Echo, or Marvel's Echo, as Maya returns to Oklahoma and faces her true family legacy. The new MCU features some great Easter eggs pointing to her comic history, the greater MCU, and more. Marvel's Echo is shorter than previous MCU shows, having been placed under a new special banner known as Marvel Spotlight. However, there are still plenty of fun references as Maya Lopez reconnects with her powerful family lineage while facing the legacy she left behind with Kingpin. So, initial thoughts of this series. I know there's a lot of drama with the episode counts and reshoots and whatnot. So, what did you think? What were you expecting going into this new series, this new Spotlight series?
I think I had low expectations for this show. Right?
Trepidations, if you will.
Yeah, I had low expectations for this show because I was skeptical about them releasing it all at once rather than not doing the weekly model like they've done with every other show. I just kind of felt like, okay, then does Marvel not have faith in this and everything like that? And then I watched it, and I couldn't stop. The big thing with this show is there is escalation and stakes in every episode. So
right,
each episode moving forward from the first episode moving on to the next one, there are more and more stakes happening, and it's also a very different concept to have a character who is deaf mute. And
Mhm.
you know, the entire show is in, I mean, like majority of like everything when she, especially when she's involved in the scene, is
Mhm.
American Sign Language. But on top of that, I think one of the coolest things in this was her, like they're showing everything from her perspective, so she can't hear anything.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool too. It made you like watch the show and you're like, wait, something's different, something's wrong. And I
Yeah,
like how they portrayed like it would flip back from her point of view to the, regular camera point of view. And I dug that a lot.
yeah, I thought it was great, man. I thought the way that they did the show in general was really good.
I was really nervous going into this show. I was just like, oh, are we gonna get like the last bit of non-Iger, storytelling, like just pump out content and not be aware of where it's leading and just throw a couple Easter eggs here and there and be like, okay, it's a show, consume it, move on. But I love that this show had a ton of heart.
yeah,
And like you pull out all the cool fight scenes and the show is just about her dealing with her past and coming to terms with the good and bad of her past and choices she made to leave and unresolved issues with her family. Like everybody can relate to that stuff.
yeah. The
You
the
know?
other big thing that I love about what this show did is this was their first experimentation into mature rated content.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
because of the good feedback that they did get with this, it established that the Netflix MCU, the Netflix Marvel shows are now canon,
Mhm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because they made references to things that happened in the Marvel movies, or in the Netflix show, sorry, in the Netflix shows, which established that it's still in the same universe. And then on top of that, they Marvel added it to their slate of the official MCU timeline.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's so cool about the show is that like I got so involved in her storylines and this, in her ancestors'
Yeah,
stories that they were telling, is that I forgot why she went back home. And there was actually a purpose. I guess there was like the gun running from Fisk. He was like running guns and arms out of her little town in Oklahoma, and she went back to like sabotage
right.
that whole setup. So it's like, oh, I don't even remember that part, but thanks. I appreciate that.
You know, I like that they established that her family, like there's a tear in her family, right? Like the majority of her family isn't, they don't like this crime that everything was going through, but her dad, we all know the story of her dad and everything through
Mhm,
Hawkeye
mhm,
and all whatnot, but they expanded on that, and then they involve her uncle
mhm.
and how her uncle was involved in all of that, and
Yeah.
just kind of like the love that they had for her, where they didn't want her to be involved in it, but then she became a part of it.
But like her mom too, like that whole storyline of like what happened with her mom, like, oh my gosh, that
Heartbreaking.
was tough. That
Yeah.
was tough.
There were some scenes that were very heartbreaking in this where,
Mhm.
she becomes very relatable for someone who is essentially a villain through the whole beginning of the show,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? Um, and, just yeah, man, some of the fight scenes in this show were next level.
What's so interesting is that it's almost like they looked at Daredevil, like everybody loves the fight scenes, like the one cam shot.
Mhm.
How can we incorporate more of those into this? And I loved, like, we just saw a shot of it on the trailer that popped up. I love those fight scenes. They were so cool. Like, and there was like three or four, like there was pretty much one an episode of those major, like almost one camera shots.
Right. And again, no spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched the show yet, but just there's a fight scene in the very first episode that just is immediately what brought me so much joy into this show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like just it was something that we all wanted, that we got in this. And then again, you see in the trailer right here, you see Wilson Fisk's just brutality.
It almost, in a weird way, like it legitimizes or connects to the whole Daredevil Defenders universe or series just by having those one shot or one camera angles, fight scenes
Right.
in it. So I dug that. But it's still connected to like the rest of the MCU. Like I think Blanket, wasn't that, no, Biscuits. Biscuits mentioned that Mandrapore was like Navajo style blankets were being sold at Anthropology and they were made in like Mandrapore or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's kind of cool, kind of interesting, little tie-in right there. But even like, I like how much thought they put into this. Like, I think it was that one. I think it was like the third episode where they did that old timey black and white Western type intro.
Right.
When they were talking about the, one of her ancestors, Tuklo, who is one of the light horsewomen.
Right.
And they did like that. It reminded me of Loki, how Loki did like some kind of old timey intro when they were talking about Victor Timely.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
absolutely.
that's kind of fun. I was like, what's funny? I was like, I kind of want to see more Tuklo. I'm like, bring back Tuklo.
I definitely wanted to see more of the stories with her ancestors because they kind of grounded her character, and they kind of don't immediately say that that's what's going on. You're just kind of like the first couple of episodes, you're like, well, they're starting off these episodes with people who are in like different timelines and have nothing to do with anything, and then you realize that they're essentially showing people in like in her family history. Like dating back to one of her ancestors being somebody who's like a major part of her people's story.
Right. And I like how I did that, and each episode was like titled after that specific ancestor. So I like how each episode started like that, and you get a bit of each of her ancestors and her like accumulated history.
Right.
So I dug that. I thought that was, and I didn't even know it was happening at first until I went back and looked. Like by the final episode, I'm like, oh, it's all our ancestors. That's cool. I dug that a lot. I think there was another connection. Oh, there's a few different connections to like the Daredevil series, right? Like,
right.
And I didn't watch all of Daredevil, but like the Echo flashbacks and the Fisk hammer and stuff like that. I guess that's all from Daredevil, right? And like the wall.
Right. There was a meme going around on social media that said, the only thing that got recast in this version of Daredevil was the hammer. Because they did use a different type of hammer than the one that he used to kill his father in the original show. But
interesting.
Yeah,
because it was a very specific hammer.
It was because it wasn't a claw hammer. It was a double-sided hammer, and they a lot of people were like, oh, well, yeah, they recast the hammer. It's like the only character they recast. But I mean, again, they do reference the way that he kills his father, and they multiple times they reference that. So again, no spoilers. I'm not going to say how he kills his father, and kind of what those references are, because there are multiple references to it. This is just an excuse to tell everybody, if you haven't watched Netflix's Daredevil, which is now on Disney Plus, go watch that, and then go and watch this show.
Yeah. All right, I got some lighter Easter eggs. Did you catch Biscuits referencing the Lion King? Remember when they were at like the junkyard or whatever? He's like, everything that touches the light is yours. And he's like, are you quoting the Lion King?
I thought that was funny, man.
That was great.
He was talking to the guy that was working on his grandma's truck.
Yeah. I thought that was super funny. Like, and that was pretty early on too. So though.
Yeah,
I was like, that's a fun reference.
It was pretty funny, man.
So now we know that Lion King and Disney exists within the MCU.
Right. Or Disney exists within the MCU because hey, they've seen The Lion King.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird little spiral. It's gonna be stuck in my
The
head for a
Lion
bit.
King?
Oh, did you catch it wasn't a big deal, nothing ever happened, but the Roxxon
Oh yeah,
corporation was there.
yeah. The Roxxon logo that was by the
Gas station or something.
Yeah.
So that's been in a ton of different series going back to like going back to like Iron Man. Roxxon was there.
Right.
I wonder if they're ever gonna address that.
They might, because I mean, I think what they're really good at is planting seeds and saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, here's something that's been here the entire time." So, I feel like it's there just so that they can reference it later. It is like an energy corporation, so it's gonna be interesting to kind of see what they do.
I dig that. Um, how did you know what I didn't expect out of the show? I didn't expect her to have powers. This was a very grounded show coming out of the whole Daredevil Defenders universe. Like it
Yeah.
was very grounded, no superpowers at all. So it was a little weird to me that all of a sudden they'd start things off with, "Oh, she got powers." Like she got I mean, it took her a while to get there, but she got powers. Yeah. But I guess that's part of she gets powers in the comics?
Yeah. And a lot of it is it's very much like what ends up happening in the show. Her powers are powered by her ancestors.
Mhm.
So it's cool
I
that
dig it.
they're referencing all of that.
Mhm. And I guess in the comics she also gets the Phoenix Force for a bit.
Currently, yeah. Like yeah, she basically becomes a conduit for the Phoenix.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool that they I think it might have been her grandmother's like you've carried the fire, I'm like, "Oh, that's cool."
It kind of
So it kind of references but doesn't connect to the Phoenix Force, but it's almost like an homage to what they're doing in the comics.
it kind of
So
shows that to me, this shows that they're taking Phoenix more seriously in comparison to how, for example, Fox took the Phoenix, because like the
Yeah.
Phoenix in the Fox X-Men movies, they've made the Phoenix a alter ego of Jean Grey when it's supposed to be the Phoenix Force is a galactic entity that dwells within hosts. So it's interesting that they're kind of taking that route and saying like they kind of know that they know, but they don't know that something lives within her.
Right. Or she's connected to it. So yeah, I thought it was cool. My last Easter egg is that the newscaster
Oh yeah,
from the bonus scene. So what is his name? Pat Kiernan, real life news anchor Pat Kiernan makes another MCU appearance and echoes post-credit scenes, speaking on the television in New York, but he's also been in The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, Daredevil, The Defenders, The Punisher, and Hawkeye. I'm
yeah.
like, that's
a
kind of
fun-
dope.
That's a fun little Easter egg, right? And I mean,
Yeah.
like, again, there's a post-credit scene at the end of the show that creates larger implications in the Marvel universe as a whole, but also references back something that we speculated on in an earlier film. So that's the only hint I'm going to give you guys. And go and watch it, and you'll see kind of like again, there's a long running question of, well, what was going on in this movie and why was this happening this way? And they kind of give you that explanation at the end of this. So, it's one of those long-term payoffs.
Yeah, totally. So I'm gonna ask for a recommendation and a rating in a minute, but I would say if you haven't seen this, and we've done a pretty good job of not spoiling this, kind of proud of us. Definitely watch this. It's got more than just how does this connect to the MCU. This has got a ton of heart. It's got a ton of action, good storylines, good drama and interaction between characters. So I was pleasantly surprised with how well they did this. And actually, I kind of like that they only have it as 5 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have done more with more of the ancestry stuff, but I kind of like how that was paced based on the ancestors. So, yeah. I like the show a lot more than I expected to.
Same. I felt that this show gave us a lot more than we expected, and
Yeah.
it may just be that I had low expectations and it exceeded those expectations. But in general, I thought it was a good show.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. So let's rate it. How would you rate Echo as a series?
I am gonna give this 9 ungiven ice cream cones out of 10 angry hammers.
Angry hammers. Angry recasted hammers.
Angry recasted hammers.
Yeah, I like this too, and I think because I was pleasantly surprised with it, and maybe I had the same thing you had where I went into it with a little bit of lower expectations. I would give this 9 9 biscuits because I really like Biscuit. I want to see more
I
Biscuit.
love Biscuits. He's such a
He was
character.
super funny.
You know who I liked was her grandmother's ex-boyfriend. He was freaking
Oh
hilarious.
yeah,
I love
he was
that
great too. He was great too.
Mhm.
I would give this 9 biscuits out of 10 horny grandpas because he was super funny.
He was funny, man. And he was also like, he was her forge, basically. Like he was like building things for her, and I love that, you know. And it was just kind of like almost like a secret relationship because she, you know, when she was a kid, she always saw him as basically her grandfather.
Yeah,
You know, so
Yeah.
like, yeah, I thought he was a great character.
yeah, totally. So, what do you think is next for Maya?
I think she's going to show up in Daredevil.
I think so
I
too.
think a lot of this is just kind of this is implications that are setting up things. I think mostly what this was setting up is that Wilson Fisk is still alive,
Mm-hmm.
and that with Daredevil Born Again, it gives us an excuse for him to reemerge again. Especially now that we know that he basically has a healing factor because she shot him in the eye and his eye is back.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that, but I didn't want to like get into the weeds too much. It seems like I know this is months later and it healed, but it's like, what did he have some kind of stem cell technology? Is he on the TRT? Is he Joe Rogan? What's happening?
he's I mean, in the comics, he's just a freak of nature. So I mean, like, it's weird. Wilson Fisk doesn't have any powers, but the dude is he's just such a powerhouse.
I need to get on that Kingpin TRT because my eyesight's going bad. You know what I mean? So I need some of that Kingpin TRT.
Yeah,
Something.
we're just old men, dude.
That's right. You know what old men need?
Is it merch?
We got merch, people.
We got merch, people.
We got a hat for $35.
Just
Hey, we got hat. Just
got
hat.
Yeah.
That's it, everybody. We got a hat. No, but if you can find another hat, maybe you steal Young Phil's hat. We'll sell you both of them for $30 each. You can steal the black one. Steal the black one from Young Phil. That's
If you're
fine.
gonna steal one, steal the black one because we have the gray one. So
There you go. Then we got shirts. All you got to do is DM us. So we got 2 different shirts. We got the black shirt with the logo and the gray shirt with the characters on it. Look at those arms. I need to like
superhero pose.
I need to get my like workouts going because it's going to be t-shirt time or tank top time. So the guns need the guns out. So we got 2 different t-shirts. Just DM us at Distance Nerding. Let us know the size and how many you want. We got them for $20 or $25. If we've got to ship it to you, buy both. We'll bring them to the cons as well, so you can come check them out.
Right.
And if you want more shirts and more merch, check out lucharillas.com and get the Distance Nerdarilla.
Absolutely. It is
my
100%
goodness.
worth it. I love the Lucharilla, man. It's such a great character.
He's so cool. He's so cool. I want to see some storylines and see how all the Lucharillas come together and come in and out. I need that as a comic. Where's Eric?
I've been telling Eric that he needs to do a comic.
He could just be a cameo. The Nerdarilla can just be a cameo. If
That-
there's like a main storyline going, just the Nerdarilla in the background, and he has like one line or something like that.
Especially now that he is an established comic book artist, he should probably start. Oh my God. You know what we should do?
Yes, we should do it.
Okay, cool.
I'm on board. I'm on board.
I'm going to message David Quiros.
Done. In.
David, I need you to write a Lucharilla story so Eric can draw it.
I like it. Make it happen. I like it. All right. So, if you want merch, go check it out. We got merch. And then schedules. Monday, we got the game streams.
Exactly. Guys.
8 to 12. What are you playing these days?
So I finished Assassin's Creed Mirage on Monday. So we finished that game out.
You stole all the money from all the public NPCs out
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
So rude.
Actually, one of the quests in that game was to steal random items from different people to go give them to another dude. But which I finished. But so Assassin's Creed Mirage is officially done. The storyline is amazing. If you haven't played it, play it. We are finishing up on the Call of Duty storyline.
Duty.
And after that, I'm debating. I'm probably going to put it in the Nerdington post, but probably the next game I want to play is before Kill the Justice League comes out in late February.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just announced the date for that. Before Kill the Justice League comes out, Suicide Squad, because I'm probably going to play that on stream. I kind of want to start getting into Shadows of Mordor.
Oh, very cool. Oh, you mentioned that last week, yeah.
Right. Or RoboCop Rogue City, which we talked about on this show.
I'll buy that for $1.
I'll buy that for $1.
Cool. And then Tuesdays, we got the download from 6:30 to 8:30 or whenever we wrap up, but usually starts around 6:30. You can come get all the nerdy news with us. And then Thursdays, we got the build from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where Philippe's building Legos, interviewing cool people, talking to amazing comic book artists and voice actors and writers and creators. So cool.
We have a major guest this Thursday. For all of my comic book fans out there, if you are a fan of current run comic books, or just a fan of comics in general, we have Melissa Flores coming on this week. She is the current writer of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic books. She just finished a run of Spider-Gwen Smash. She just finished in September, just finished a run of Echo before the show came out. And she's got a couple of books that she's putting out. So guys, if you're unfamiliar with Melissa Flores, why are you? But go check out Melissa Flores. If you are familiar with Melissa Flores, again, she'll be on the show this Thursday. We're gonna be having a crap ton of fun with that.
That's awesome. Did you talk to Matt Aguilar?
I told him that we were doing that episode, so
he should come on and just like nerd out. That'd be awesome.
oh my God, that would be great. I'll message him tonight.
Yeah, there you go. Just be like, hey, you want to come hang out and nerd out about various shows? We should also get I know Frace, she was going to be busy, but maybe she'll make a cool appearance. Maybe she'll make a special appearance for us.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Especially being like, a female writer,
Exactly.
that's doing major and she's got an Image comic. She's got a couple Image comics out, but she's got an Image comic out right now too called The Lucky Dead, which actually looks really cool.
That'd be cool. Cool. All right. Have something you want to discuss? Tell us what you're nerding out on and make sure to let us know in the Facebook group, The Distance Nerdington Post.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support us in the best way possible, all you got to do is head over to distancenerding.com. Click on that button at the top and join the taco party. Ladies and gentlemen, you can join the taco party. Be cool like so many others before you that have joined the taco party and supported us. That is the easiest way to support us, but just by clicking that link and donating whatever you would like to us. It does help us do more shows. It helps us get more prizes, helps us do more in general so that we can continue to try and entertain you guys. You also have a choice to be able to subscribe on Twitch. If you subscribe on Twitch, again, once we hit our goal for subscribers, we will be giving away more prizes. So let's get that going right there, guys. Of course, you can connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans.
That's so many things.
It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet in Mandels and the beard. And of course, our new place. You can find us on Truth Social. That's a lie. You will never find us on Truth Social. That'll never happen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to send us an email, just remember, if you'd like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, or just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us and spit us out, send us an email at dist.
Wow, it's been a fun episode. This has been fun. Just me and you. It's kind of different again. I didn't get tired of you, but I thought I would. But good thing I didn't. I'm glad it was just us.
It's been a while since it's just been me and you.
Yeah.
And it's nerding at AOL.com. And we will read it on the show, guys. And if we get enough emails, we'll probably end up just doing an entire episode of just nothing but mail call.
That would be ecstatic. I'd be ecstatic for that. That'd be awesome. Anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks everybody in chat. Darren, you're amazing. Say Wong, you're incredible as ever. We got to find a con that's what we need. We need to get organized. We got to find a con that we're all going to go to. We all meet up. So Darren, Say Wong, let us know what's happening in the Bay where you plan to be. And we'll all make sure to hang out. So thanks and keep nerding together.
All right, let's get right into this. It's time for the dance party. Let's get our dance on, baby.
I'm gonna dance with my Stanley because Coco just put my Distance Nerding sticker on my family. Get yourself a Distance Nerding Stanley.
My family.
I got a family. I'm one of the cool Real Housewives.
Jackie's got a real Stanley, meaning she's got the old school Stanley thermos.
Like she put soup in it?
Yeah, she does actually.
I'm thirsty. I don't want soup right now. Maybe we need Distance Nerding soup.
What flavor would that soup be?
I don't know. Maybe it'll have lentils in it. Maybe it would be like just consume.
Consomme, yeah, that would work. Just like consomme, Distance Nerding soup, it's just consomme.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Jackie's got her real. Look at that.
Oh, showing me up.
That's a real Stanley right there.
What kind of soup we got? What kind of soup today? What's the soup du jour?
Oh my God.
Okay, now I'm jealous.
Oh my God. We will see you guys on Thursday.